Does anyone else would like to address the board?
One last question, I guess, and Deborah and I did discuss this while you were doing your executive session. For Mr. Scott Chetfield, I wonder if you're ever going to get any money out of him. But that all remains to be seen. I find it ironic, as it was discussed while you were in executive session, that the chief fiscal officer of the town that would draw this budget up and hire somebody and cost him $10,000 who did a very nice job, could not find some way to get a consensus to cut the tax rate to 0 and be able to vote in a consensus with a majority of the rest of the board. I understand you said I can't support a tax increase. Why didn't we look for some way to perhaps bring that down to 0 before we voted? There were some good ideas that were brought up. I think there was, how many meetings were there? About 10?
No.
Then things were hammered out?
No.
Only 5?
4 or 5.
It seemed like 10, okay? I'm sure you all thought it was 10 also. May I ask why we couldn't find a consensus to reduce that to 0?
I don't know if we could have reduced it anymore without actually closing things, parks, things of that sort. We have cut a lot of things out of people's budgets. If Chris Wozniak was here, I'm surprised you didn't hear him every day when we called him up and said, Chris, we gotta have some more.
Well, I was kidding him on the way out. I said, Chris, I spoke on behalf of your department because not that it isn't an expensive department to be able to fund, but someday those chickens are going to come home to roost. Is that the correct terminology in the department, I guess?
I've never heard that before.
He raises pumpkins, not chickens.
All right. But I guess the question to him was,
I heard the phrase though, make hay when the sun shines. There you go.
plant them pumpkins when the time is right. But you know, all kidding aside, I did tell him, Chris, you got enough pipe out in that backyard, because I went back there before the meeting, to actually drain the town of Cicero into Oneida Lake. And he does have a lot of pipe. It's nice to see he has the salt dome 2/3 full, because prices could go up sometime in the near future. But again, I don't know if we would have been closing parks. We have trash increase, and I know it was brought up, well, I don't mind paying $15 or $20 or $30 more in town taxes. That's not an awful lot of money, but every little bit adds up to an additional tax or fee. And the one thing that we really didn't talk about too much tonight was the fact that we had the trash contract doubled. Now, when people get their tax bill, you might tell them your taxes only went up 3.5%, but you're going to see $150 added to that tax bill, and you're going to say that seems like a lot more than 3.5%, and it will be. Total tax will be more than 3.5%. So I guess, Counselor, why would you have voted against it? Maybe I missed that. You did not want to raise taxes either?
That's what I said.
Why didn't we find some ways to cut this budget a little bit more so we could all been in agreement?
I'll tell you, we really worked on this. We really worked on this. And you really couldn't take much more money away from the departments. We didn't have anything left.
We got Chris Sullivan in one direction now.
That's good.
I would suggest to everybody, don't think that the roads are going to be black all winter.
You don't want to white.
Well, no salt on
You
it.
don't want 6 inches of salt.
Right.
Or we're going to salt down the center of the roads and
Let it
make
spread.
one trip, not
Can't
two.
spread them in both directions anymore. It's crazy. We've talked to them about shutting the gates, slowing down the spreaders, everything.
Counselor, Joaquin, I don't.
Well,
Bill's not
You
here,
know,
so.
you know that I just got through talking about, I thought we ought to cut some more in several different directions, which we didn't do. And if 2 of these council people didn't want to vote on what they brought forth, actually Chet, because Jimmy was not bringing things forward, but
Who's there?
Chet brought forward the budget, If you didn't wanna increase taxes, then you should have took some of my suggestions about, reducing other things, which you threw away those suggestions.
Well, I wouldn't exactly say that, but.
Yeah, you did, you didn't act on what I proposed.
We wanted to decrease the fuel adjustment and also consider
Yeah.
reducing the amount of money that was gonna be paid for salt, because that went up to $750,000 this year, so that may have been reduced. And if you're gonna be putting less salt on the road, I would hope, unless you have a totally severe winter, you would use less salt. So we'll all know next year, when the numbers come in and they, I'm not accusing anyone of anything, but there's another saying that figures don't lie, but liars figure.
Ooh.
So we'll see how the whole budget process comes out. We'll see how it comes out. Thank you.